Should a 10-year-old rape survivor be able to get an abortion? Now, pro-choice advocate Christian Nunez says absolutely, yet pro-life advocate Lila Rose says the fetus is not the guilty party. Those are two very strong opinions. I see a lot of my audience wiggling in their chairs. If you've got something to say, raise your hand.
Great, I do. I have lots to say, actually, a ton to say, actually.
Okay.
I would say, though, in this particular case with Nancy, who I feel absolutely terrible for, Lila, I really feel like your views, you just want to legislate evil. That's really how it feels when I hear you speak, especially when you're talking about a 10-year-old girl who was raped. I'm sorry. And to hear you say that, they should just have it anyway is disgusting. I really think you're a traitor to your own, and I will never be able to agree with you. There's nothing you could justify to say that she should have to carry it to bury it. There is nothing you could possibly say to justify that level of lack of empathy. And that's the problem I feel like in this country at the moment. We were founded on the lack of empathy, and we've just kept up with that tradition. If you have no empathy.
Abortion is devastating to women's mental health. No one talks about that. The year after a woman has an abortion,
what it's really like
the year after a woman
have to have the child. What kind of trauma is that?
The trauma is from the rape.
Somebody?
The trauma is from the rape. The child's an innocent party there.
The child isn't born yet. It's not there.
We should not take out generational sin on a child to say there's generational sin and that dad was an abuser, so the child should be killed. That's not fair to the child.
We're talking about rights, and he just said a right has been taken away from us. And what is next?
I want to address that because our fundamental human right that we all share in this room is life. It's the first human right. Laws are meant to protect the weak. In a society, who's the weakest? Who's the weakest in the society? A child.
The poor.
They don't have a voice. They can't speak. A child in the room, or a poor child would be the weakest.
And we're going to keep them that way by
and a child with disability. Listen, whether you live 10 minutes or 10 years or 100 years, you're a human life, and you have the right to not be killed. And that's what the pro-life fight is all about. That's what we're fighting for, a culture of life where we provide real health care. Abortion is the intentional destruction of an innocent human life.
Doesn't a woman have a right to choose that for herself?
A right to choose what? A right to choose what?
Doesn't a woman have a right to choose what happens to her body?
But what's in her body? There's another life we're talking about. Let's acknowledge the science.
And I would defer to Christian and the experts, but I will say this. You can't just be pro-fetus and not pro-life.
Right.
Because a lot of times what we see...
We're pro-human beings. We're pro-human beings. And women deserve better than abortion.
A lot of these children are born, all those legislators who vote for pro-life when the baby's inside the woman, then do nothing to vote to help them with health care, after-school care, daycare, all these things, especially in marginalized communities.
In the back row, in the middle.
I'm Corinne. You say you're pro-life, but banning abortion hurts so many more people in the long run. So many more people. If you were really pro-life, you would be caring about these long-term ripple effects, about the 10, 12-year-olds that get raped and they could possibly die because their body isn't developed yet, the babies that come out and could be severely underdeveloped, me who gets raped. Why is it that you're telling me that I can only get an abortion if I get raped? You're telling me that I only get to have a choice over my body if I get violated. How is that fair?
What is troubling me is the idea of government-mandated pregnancy.
Can I respond to that?
That's in the end, that's what's happening.
No one is forcing anyone to get pregnant.
Motherhood is slavery.
I get really nervous when the government gets into people's personal lives. I've said that when people come in and say, we have problems deciding the custody of our kids, so we're going to go to court. And I go, oh, you don't want to do that. You would be much smarter to sit down and work this out between yourselves because you have no idea what the court may do or not do. You don't want the government in your lives. And I really don't think the government needs to be telling people what they should do with their bodies. Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.